Is it just me, or is your girl Ruth flexing hard in this episode?
You're Daikon. And I am Ruth. I have the highest, and I have you. Why would I be caught anywhere near something like that?
What's up, y'all? It's your girl EJ, and I am back for my Ruthless review of episode 3. Now, before we jump into it, guys, please do not forget to come out and hang with us on Wednesday as we do a live discussion over Tyler Perry's Ruthless episode 3. It is going to be myself, VKJ TV, your girl Tika Deshawn from All Things Ruthless, home of the Ruthless Addict, and your girl Ruthless TV. We're going to be talking all the shenanigans that went down on this episode, y'all. So definitely make sure that you are there to join us. You already know this episode is going to start right where the last one left off, and that's with your boy Dikahn catching Ruth and Manny in a very awkward position. And you already know that Dikahn has questions and he wants answers, y'all. Now, first and foremost, we know what Ruth was up to, but Dikahn is very jealous, you know, and the fact that he's seen this man with his pants down, he is automatically going to assume that they were doing a little something strange, you know what I mean? So anyway, Ruth is going to tell Manny to leave, but Dikahn is like, nope. And he wants those answers now. And he's like, you going to stay right here. Don't listen to her. Now, Ruth is going to tell Dikahn that she was helping him, you know, and then he wants Manny to tell him, like, he needs to hear it from Manny. But Manny doesn't seem to be able to think quick on his feet. So you already know Ruth is going to have to try to lead and guide this conversation so that she can make sure that they can get up out of this thing. Now, Ruth tries to leave, which is so funny. She's like, you know what? I'm just going to leave. And then Dikahn is like, nope. And so, of course, Ruth comes up with a little something. She tells him to drop his pants. Manny, she's like, drop your pants. And Manny doesn't want to drop his pants. He's like, Ruth, no, I can't do this, you know. And she's like, drop your pants. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to drop your pants. And I figured that she would blend some form of a lie and the truth mixed together, because that would probably make the most sense to try to get them out of this situation, because it's kind of hard to tell somebody why in the world his pants are down, you know. So there's that. But anyway, Manny eventually drops his pants and he pulls his schlong dong out. Now, shout out to Ruthless TV, because I'm loving the word schlong dong. I ain't even gonna lie, it's way better than maker stick. So definitely got to use that one. But she said that in one of her videos. I thought it was the funniest thing. So anyway, y'all, Manny is going to, you know, pull it out, and Dikahn is like, what in the world? What in the world are you doing? Like, what is going on? So anyway, he's going to try to sell the story about the two knives, and I'm just like, bruh, that story has not worked on anyone. That is the dumbest story ever, and nobody believes it. And Ruth is just like, look, you're still lying. Tell him the truth. And so finally, she's just like takes over the story, and because he says Zayn's name, and so she takes over the story, and she's like, yeah, Zayn tried to help him because, you know, elder mother Marva was coming on to him. She gave him something in his food or something in his drink. I can't remember if it's food or his drink. And, you know, it passed him out, and then she cut him. And I'm just like, really? That's what y'all came up with? But I'm not even mad at it. I just don't know how it's going to all play out if Dikahn ever decides to ask Elder Mother Marva. But I mean, it was a good story to come up with for an on-the-spot situation. Now, Dikahn, of course, is still looking suspicious. Like, he just doesn't believe this story, but he allows the story to keep going. And he wants to know, like, that doesn't explain why his pants are down. And she's just like, look, I had to give him some cream for the pain. And then he's like, where's the cream? And she's like, he already put it on. And then she tells him about the tetanus shot, and he wants to see the shot. And of course, she has the shot in her hand. So of course, she kind of mixed the truth with a lie, and they kind of get out of this situation for now. You know, he tells, oh boy, that it's okay to leave, Manny to leave. And then he and Ruth have a conversation, and Ruth starts to flex. You know, this is the first time we see her flex in this particular episode, and she's going to have a lot of flex moments, I would say, throughout this episode. But she basically tells Dikahn, like, look, I dare you accuse me of being with something like him when I have you and I have the highest. And he was like, you have the highest. She was, no, I have you and I have the highest. I said, said, okay, Ruth, I'm not even mad at this right now. I'm loving this dialogue because, I mean, to be honest, all you can feel in this moment is just this thing between them. Like, you know, they just want to get it on, and you just want them to get it on just so they can, be done with it or whatever. But, it's just crazy. It was so freaking funny how Ruth just asserts herself, and Daikon kind of is excited about it. When she walks away from him, he's just like, F me, and the way that he's looking, and I'm just like, yeah, she has you wrapped all the way around her little finger, for real, for real. So meanwhile, we are going to see that Dikahn is finally going to go to where he was truly trying to go, which was to see River, because he needs to get to the bottom of this whole situation about the magic. Now, I don't for the life of me understand why a grown man is walking around calling these drugs magic, but whatever. So he wants to know why all of it was gone, what happened to all of it. And then, of course, River has to think quick on his feet as well. And he just lets him know, like, how much he uses. You can ask the other boys. He uses a lot. And then River almost messes up, but then he kind of cleans it up. And he's like, he tells him that he threw the rest of it away, because Dikahn was like, where is the rest of it? Or no, he's not, where is the rest of it? I'm sorry. He asked him, so you gave it all to him? So he used it all. And then he was like, no, I threw the rest of it away for his own good, basically trying to protect him. So for now, Dikahn is going to let this go. But you all know that Dikahn is not truly going to let this go, and that this isn't over for River, but he'll accept this for now. Okay, y'all. So meanwhile, Elder Mother is talking to Aaron like he is a straight up child, for real, because she's telling him, to take another bite. And this whole dialogue just reminds you of you trying to feed your kid, and you just want them, take another bite, and you're trying to coax them into doing it. And it's something that they really don't want to eat. It's just so freaking hilarious, to be honest. But you can see that Aaron truly understands kind of sort of what's going on. He has to know that there's something with the food, because he really doesn't want to eat it. And we're also going to see that the food doesn't have a effect on him the way it does his wife. I mean, his wife truly does start to feel good, but he doesn't seem to have the same effect. So that was interesting as well. And Elder Mother Marva is going to actually notice this, and she's going to say that to Joan, and says that we should watch him. But Joan is like, I don't think so. I think it's going to be okay. So River's going to end up coming to get him to take him to the men's trailer. And he's going to be like, why can't I stay with my wife? And then, of course, Elder Mother Marva is going to let him know that, in the Raku, that is not how it is done. They do not recognize marriage like that. So he has to sleep in the men's trailer. She has to sleep in the women's trailer. And although he doesn't necessarily understand it or agree with it, it is what it is, because it's the Raku way, of course. Now, y'all, one of my favorite moments of this entire episode was when Elder Mother Marva was getting ready to go back to her trailer, and Joan is like, hey, do you want me to walk you to your trailer? And she's like, nah. And then she says, hey, boy. And she calls the boy over, and she says, I want something big, black, and strong. And it was so freaking funny, y'all. Like, that was so hilarious. I'm not even going to lie. Just that entire dialogue. I might have to put that in the video. But anyway, y'all, after she walks off, Ruth is going to walk up, and she's going to talk to Joan, and they're going to have a little bit of a conversation. Now, these two just remind you of bickering sisters, like sisters that just can't get along, because they just go back and forth all the time. And Ruth is just telling her, like, look, I cannot keep holding all of this together. I need you to move faster. But at the end of the day, there's not really much Joan can do without the highest. So anyway, we are going to see that Joan is going to tell Ruth, like, hey, you are really fond of that elder name. And she's going to also tell her, like, even though, you don't believe in the Raku. So it's interesting that she realizes that Ruth really is kind of getting a kick out of this whole power thing. And that's something that I'm starting to notice as well, that she is definitely using this, but she seems to be enjoying it as well. So it is what it is. I'm not mad at her, though. Now, meanwhile, River is taking Aaron back to the men's trailers, and Aaron is going to be asking all of these questions, of course. And he is going to want to know where the women's trailer is. And, River is just trying to get him to relax. He's like, calm down, relax. And he just says it's right over there. And he wants him to be much more specific than that. And he asks, like, where exactly are they taking her? And then he makes a joke about them taking her to be killed. I don't think Aaron really appreciated that joke very much. But, this is River's personality. Now, Aaron is going to end up throwing up all of his food. And River is going to want to take him to Elder Mother Marva, since he lost all of his dinner. But he's insistent that he doesn't. Now, I would advise Aaron to maybe calm down a little bit, maybe stop being so suspicious. Like, you can't ask all of these questions. Even River is like, look, stop asking me questions. And, they just go on to the trailer. Now, we are then going to see Laura and Zayn interacting with each other. And we're going to slowly continue to see our girl Zayn devolving a little bit. She's turned into a little bit of a darker character. And you would think that with all the darkness that is around her, that she would have been transitioned, but Zayn remained so sweet and innocent for the longest time. But in this environment, at some point we knew she would snap, we knew she would break, maybe not the way that she did, but it definitely, something was going to happen. Now, every time Zayn seems to talk about death, she seems to have this sinister look on her face, almost like she gets excited about death. Now, she tells Laura, like, look, I'm glad you're here because I needed new friends. I need a new friend. And she tells her about Paula and Lacey and how they're gone on to the Raku. And of course, Laura doesn't quite understand what the Raku is. And then Zayn just has to be blunt with her and tells her, like, look, they're dead. But it's the way that she looks when she says it. She doesn't say it in that way that we're used to seeing Zayn all sad and, very caring when she talks about something so sensitive. Instead, she looks like she's almost excited about the thought of death and, them being dead. Now, what I found very interesting was how she kept pushing for Laura to be her friend, how she kept saying it over and over again. Now, of course, she does tell her that she has to be able to trust her before she could tell her exactly what happened to Paula and Lacey. But I think it's going to be interesting to watch Zayn as she continues on this journey that we find her on, this journey from being this, this bright bundle in all of this darkness. She was that one thing that seemed to still have their heart and feelings intact, and now she's kind of turned as well. So I am very interested to see how this is going to go, and if she's going to be any help to the group, if she's going to be any help to Ruth, Joan, and River, or has she truly been converted and broken down and truly a member of the Rakudushi at this point, y'all? Let me know what y'all think. Tell me down in the comments. Now, last but not least, Laura is going to ask, can she go to the bathroom? And Zayn is just going to tell her that she can't, that she can use the pot. And Laura wants to know why. And of course, we hear it again because it's the Raku way. Now, meanwhile, River is getting Aaron settled in. And of course, River is doing the most as we would expect. And River is certainly trying to come on to Aaron. I really think that River really is interested in Aaron because this is, more than once where he's flirted with him. And I remember from last season when they were in the shower together, or how River had coaxed him into taking a shower and washing his back and all that stuff. So anyway, y'all, River is just doing the most and Aaron isn't trying to hear it. Aaron is just like, look, I'm trying to get through this night and I really don't have time to be playing these games with y'all. But what was even more interesting, as you look around the room, I mean, there is a lot going on in that room. Everybody's asleep, of course, and I'm pretty sure it's really hot in there, but it's a lot of naked bodies in there, y'all. Like, this is probably one of the most times that I have seen so many naked men in one place on Ruthless. So anyway, y'all, shout out to Ruthless for all the naked men bodies in this episode. So the next morning, we're going to see that River's going to be playing in Aaron's hair, only like River would do. And they're going to get up and Aaron is just looking at him like, what in the world are you doing? And he's going to tell him like, look, we got to get up and get going. And he's like, y'all get up early here. And he's just like, I think he says again about the Raku way. Like I said, they said that so many times in this episode, but Aaron is, still being so suspicious. And River even tells him, like, leave that bag here because that will make you look suspicious. And the highest doesn't like that, So Aaron decides to go ahead and leave the bag there. Of course, he does get his phone out. Now, we all know that the reason why he's dragging this bag around is because he has the phone in there and he's trying to get a message out, but there's no service up there because we learned from Dikahn, of course, that only one service even works up there. So, there's that. So good luck, Aaron, trying to make a phone call. But anyway, we're going to move on to the actual breakfast scene. The breakfast scene was so funny because, of course, we have our bickering sisters at it again. They're talking and they're saying how Ruth is saying how she just wants to get this money. She just wants this to be over with. Now, we are going to see Elder Mother Marvel walk up and she's going to start sprinkling fairy dust into the food and say, make sure that the men get it. And what I find more interesting is that she ain't got no gloves on, y'all. I'm like, where are the gloves? Now, I know y'all got some gloves out here at the camp. But anywho, what's even funnier is that Zayn is going to walk up with Laura and she's going to tell her that they can help him. And then Ruth is going to be like, nope, you can't. And she's basically going to tell her that you're not one of us. So no, you can't help. And she's like, well, I'm hungry. Can I eat? And she's like, nope, not until the men eat. And then, of course, Joan has to clean it up a little bit because Ruth is flexing again. And she's just like, look, we don't eat until the men eat. And Laura's kind of looking like, what in the ham sandwich? I bet you she wishing she had stayed her behind at home now. I'm pretty sure that whatever it was, that, it wasn't worth what you're about to endure out here on the Rakudushi camp. But, it is what it is. So anyway, y'all, we're going to see that Joan is just going to tell her, like, look, just go stand over there somewhere. And then we're going to see River and Aaron walk up. Right before River and Aaron walk up, I think Manny walked up with his friend Lewis. Now, there was a moment where Manny and Lewis had a conversation and he tells him, like, look, Ruth, help me out, because Lewis is like, look, you're walking better. And he tells him why. And then he also tells him that Dikahn was suspicious and that he might come and talk to him. And then Lewis tells him that he got his back. So hopefully Lewis is going to be A1 because we know Dikahn is going to try to follow up with this. He's not going to let this go. So hopefully he will indeed have his back. Now, when Aaron and River walk up, of course, Aaron's going to wave over there to his wife. It's the most awkward situation. They act like they haven't seen each other in forever. But, hey, who am I to judge? I mean, maybe they just, missed each other. They didn't sleep together that night. So, hey, I don't know. So anyway, once again, Ruth is going to flex again. And she's going to tell Aaron, like, look, how about you just go eat your food and don't talk to the women? He's like, that's my wife. And Ruth is not playing any games with them today, y'all. Like, Ruth is letting everybody have it. So anywho, y'all, Joan is going to end up saying that all of the men have eaten after Ruth has asked her about it. And then she says, what about Dikahn? And then she's like, oh, no, Dikahn hasn't eaten. And she's like, well, all the men haven't eaten. And so, of course, Joan is just like, look, I know he does this on purpose because he knows that we can't eat until all the men have eaten. And so, she makes a good point. And it definitely sounds like something Dikahn would do. So meanwhile, we see that Elder Mother has went to the infirmary, Nurse Elder Mother, soon to be Dr. Elder Mother at this point, but she goes to see Lacey. And as we all knew, she is letting Lacey know that she basically about to break her. She talks about a mule that her father had named Sadie and how they had to break the mule. And she's pretty much comparing her to that. Now, Lacey is trying to tell her, like, look, I have learned my lesson. I am ready. I am ready to be a part of the Rakudushi. I am ready to do it the Raku way. But Elder Mother wants her to suffer. So we all know that she doesn't care what Lacey has to say. And, it is what it is. So I feel so bad for Lacey because I know that there is definitely going to be a lot of hurt headed her way. Okay, y'all, so last but not least is going to be the scene where Ruth is going to go see Dikahn to get him to eat. She's going to knock on the door. He doesn't want to open the door, of course, so she's going to go ahead and waltz on in there, and when she gets in there, he's just sitting on the bed looking sad, probably wanting somebody to love on Dikahn, wanting somebody to call him or come to him or run to him or something. Who knows? So meanwhile, y'all, Ruth is trying to plead with him like, look, come and eat breakfast because the women can't eat unless you eat breakfast, and he basically tells them to starve. Now she tells him like, look, there's some really good women out here. There's some people who are pregnant, including myself. And of course he questions this because Elder Mother Marva has already put that bug in his ear. And she just tells him like, look, you can go talk to Elder Mother Marva. I've already taken my pregnancy test. I'm with child. And he puts his hand on her stomach and he's all like, but your stomach is so flat. And I'm just like, Dikahn, you just took every moment to just try to put your hands on her. I see what you're doing. But then he goes even further and it's like, it was just so disgusting, you on top of him. And she says, but it turned you on. And then he's just like, trying to fight the moment right now, like, no, I was turned on by him. It's him I love. And I'm just like, Dikahn, who are you trying to fool? So anyway, your boy Dikahn is going to take it one step even further and he's going to try to make Ruth jealous because he wants to get her back, So he's going to call this woman into the trailer. He's going to tell her, take your clothes off. She's going to do it oh so willingly. And then he's going to proceed to have sex with her. Now, Ruth is going to try to leave, and when she tries to leave, he stops her, and then she pushes him on the bed and tells old girl to get up out of there, chop, get your butt up out of here. So she leaves, and then once again, Ruth does another big old flex, y'all. I was loving Ruth in this episode because she was definitely doing her thing. She was making sure that she was putting everybody in their place. Now, her and Dikahn are going to have a freaking conversation, and she's just going to be like, look, Dikahn, don't you ever disrespect me again with these B words, don't you ever do that. Like, you basically cannot sleep with nobody else on this camp. She was like, I allow you to sleep with him because you give him what I can't give him, but don't you ever sleep with none of these other females. And in that moment, I was like, is Ruth jealous? Like, she really does probably have like a little some kind of feeling for Dikahn. I really, really think that she does, y'all. I don't know, but it feels like she may just have some feelings have developed for Dikahn. So anyway, I don't know if this was just a power play or if this was low key her little jealousy coming out like the way we see Dikahns comes out all the time. So anyway, they're going to have this other moment where she's going to grab him by the what. And she's just basically, letting him know what it is. And then they're going to end up, she's going to actually spit in his face, which that's just nasty. And then he says something like, B, you didn't hit my mouth or something like that. And then I don't know. They just go back and forth. It's just a weird situation. I might actually put that clip in here, y'all. So just in case you don't remember it, you can see a little bit of this dialogue between them. So anyway, when it's all said and done, she kisses him. He pushes her back and then she pulls him in again. And then this time she pushes him back because he's all into it this time. And I'm just like, I just wish y'all would go ahead and do the damn thing and get it over with. So anyway, y'all, she tells him, look, now come eat. And I don't think Dikahn is fighting this whole come eat thing anymore. Now, as she's walking out, lo and behold, guess who's going to be right there in front of Dikahns trailer? None other than the highest, looking like he just came off of a whole drug binge. And I don't think he's had any food. So he may not be in a happy place. And I don't know what's going to happen next, y'all. Go ahead and comment down below how you think the highest is going to react, what you think the highest is going to do, and will Ruth be able to talk her way out of this one like she has talked her way out of so many other things, guys? So anyway, y'all, that is what's up with Ruthless episode 3 behind closed doors. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Go ahead and get the conversation started down below. Meanwhile, if you like this video, make sure to go ahead and like, share, subscribe, comment, turn on your notifications so that you do not miss out on any of my future Ruthless content. Now, YouTube says that you just might like this video next, so go ahead and take a look. Until next time, guys, peace.